The richest man in history is known to be Mansa Musa of African origin, 100% African. Now, let us go to Ethiopia, one of the countries in Africa that defeated the colonizers. There's no accurate movie that depicts the history of Haiti, the black history of Haiti, and how they defeated the colonial powers. Now, I don't even want to talk about Sondiata Keita. I have come to the realization that whenever a filmmaker wants to produce a movie which is going to be based on the African history, they will always produce this movie, and the movie is going to have a link with the transatlantic slave trade, or let me just say the slave trade era. 90 to 95% of black movies that have been produced that talks about the African history must have the slave trade era linked with it. And this makes me to ask myself this question: are the people of African descent the only set of people that partook or that have the slave trade era as part of their history? Okay, let us even try to look at how the people of African descent got involved in the transatlantic slave trade history. Well, we were just in our section, we were just in our own side of the world, doing our things, building our civilization. The colonial powers showed up in our borders, and that is how we got involved in the slave trade history. If we want to look at the historical themes of these colonial powers, you are going to realize that their historical themes are based on their ancient empires back then that they believe were great. Their movies are mostly talking about Greece, they talk about Rome, the Roman Empire, and all of their empires that they believe were great. But why is it that when it comes to us, the people of African descent, when we want to create our own historical movies, we are always linking it up with the slave trade era? Like, did we not have history before the slave trade period? I really want to know. So family, you're welcome back to the channel. You're welcome back to another video. My name is Nelson and I am your brother from Africa. Please, if you just come new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. The richest man in history is known to be Mansa Musa of African origin, 100% African. He has so much wealth that if he was to be compared with our today's world richest men, they could have been nowhere near him when it comes to the amount of wealth and possessions that he had. Now, isn't that stories that can be portrayed in our African films or in our movies that want to depict of our African greatness? Now, let us go to Ethiopia, one of the countries in Africa that defeated the colonizers. Isn't that a great African story? I don't even want to talk about Benin, because the last time that I watched The Woman King, it is a great movie, but it still depicts, it still goes back to have a link with the slave trade period. Meanwhile, Benin, the empire of Benin, is having a very great history. When I first saw that movie, I even thought they are going to include the history of the Benin Wall. How many of you have heard about the Benin Wall? These are great histories that are being ignored. These are great histories that they don't want to include in black movies, in black historical movies, but instead they are always trying to link it to the slave trade area. Haiti, another black nations that defeated their colonial powers and make them have a run for their life. There is no accurate movie that depicts the history of Haiti, the black history of Haiti, and how they defeated the colonial powers. Now, I don't even want to talk about Sondiata Keita. I don't want to talk about Mansa Musa's father, that he sailed across the Atlantic Ocean with 100 boats looking to explore other new worlds. They came across some supernatural beings on the ocean. A lot of stories, a lot of black African stories that is supposed to be told to portray our greatness, but it is never being told. Whenever they want to make a movie, whenever they want to, show a movie based on African history, they always try to link it with the slave trade era. So it is really, really sad. I think one of the reasons why this is happening is because we have not yet built our own, film studio like what Idris Elba is trying to do. which is going to allow us to tell our own stories. The only movie that I think is okay when it comes to Black history is the Black Panther. You know what I mean? But I'm not talking about the vibranium side. I'm talking about the culture because it really depicts the Africanness, the African culture from the ways of dressing, the talk. And one of the most important thing found in the Black Panther is the ancestral lane, the African ancestral lane. There are many African stories that depicts the ancestral lane. A lot of stories to be told.